Once a year the full moon glooms, children dress in costumes, jack-o'-lanterns come alive and sing this ghoulish tune. Witches fly upon their brooms, spirits rise from their tombs, creatures of the night will hunt for candy to consume. Little kiddies all beware of fearsome frights and sneaky scares, ghosts and goblins prowl about to catch you unaware. Better find a good disguise to blend in if you're wise. Go from door to door and you'll collect a sweet surprise. Creepy, crawly, slime and goo, werewolves howl and zombies drool. Something's waiting in the dark to jump out and yell boo. Monsters roaming everywhere, tag along if you dare. You will have a night of frights and fun beyond compare. Once a year the full moon glooms, children dress in costumes, jack-o'-lanterns come alive and sing this ghoulish tune. Witches fly upon their brooms, spirits rise from their tombs, creatures of the night will hunt for candy to consume. Little kiddies all beware of fearsome frights and sneaky scares, ghosts and goblins prowl about to get you unaware. Better find a good disguise to blend in if you're wise. Go from door to door and you'll collect a sweet surprise. Creepy, crawly, slime and goo, werewolves howl and zombies drool. Something's waiting in the dark to jump out and yell boo. Monsters roaming everywhere, tag along if you dare. You will have a night of frights and fun beyond compare. Look out, take care, ghosts and goblins prowl about to catch you unaware. Don't run, don't scream, they just want to wish you all a happy Halloween. And when they're through, they'll leave you with a final boo.
Hey guys, totally sorry. My internet went totally nuts. At least 30 windows opened up. Things going across, just crazy. So I think I got it. We got a ghost in the machine. Nope, there it goes again. Hold 1 second. Nobody move. I don't know what in the world this is. It's nuts. If you can hear me, give me a 5-5. It's crazy. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. It is absolutely nuts. I've never seen it do that before. It's like something got in here and just started controlling it. It was nuts. Okay. Nothing new around here, I guess. Welcome to The Hot Mess Express. Let me see if I can find that for you, and I will play it again. I apologize. Show hasn't even started yet. We are off the rails. This is crazy. I can't get it to stop. We got a ghost in the machine tonight, folks. Okay. Maybe that settled it down. I don't know. Wow. Okay. Take two. Maybe. Maybe. Bear with me. Let me find this. Unbelievable, man. I'm closing a bunch of windows, guys. All of a sudden, my computer just decided to open out of nowhere. No buttons pushed. Just nuts. So just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Maybe start a sing along. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Hey, Steve, if you can hear me. I think we got it. Wow, it's going to be a night, man. Okay. Wow. Steve, I'm going to have to maybe shut this down. Wait a minute. Come on in here, Steve. See if I can get you in here. I can't even get you in here. Can you hear me? Shake your head. Okay. You got me. The chat's got me, but I can't make anything on my screen do anything. So I'm going to go out and refresh it and see if you guys are still here when I get back, because this is nuts. Okay. That's all I can think of to do. We got a ghost in the machine. I got a thumbs up. Okay. We're going for it, guys. Hang on. This could be bumpy. All right. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Nope. Here comes some more stuff. Wow. What's this? Oh my gosh. This is crazy. By George, I think we got it. Can you hear me? Are we good? Nope.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on camera. I didn't realize you were back.
I was just seeing if we could get it. Guys, that was like the worst ever. Are you guys live? Is the chat working? Somebody pop something up there and see if we're working. Tell me if we're 5-5. I don't know if we are or
Yeah,
not.
let me know if you can hear me okay. I've been
Yeah, you sound
Doing something
wonderful.
with my microphone here.
You sound wonderful. Okay.
Sounds good? Okay.
Now let me see if we can get a.
I thought it sounded better.
We might have to go back out and come back in again. This is crazy. We got a ghost machine, Steve. All of a sudden, all these windows started opening. Across the bar, it must have been 36. It just says windows. You can only see wind, all the way down.
Oh, wow.
The
I've had mine
numbers are
do
just
that
rolling.
before, but I think I had a stuck key or something.
I don't
was
know.
holding the
That's what
key
I was
down.
wondering if, like, I spilt something on it and it was going whack, full tilt boogie crazy.
It might have spilled
Nope.
funny honey on it.
No, that might be what it needs. It might need a little funny. So, hello everybody in the chat. We're gonna pretend we're not here. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna play your little song, your little Halloween song. Do you like the first half? This thing is cursed. I swear, this thing's got a story. It disappeared twice on me.
Do you have any holy
hours.
water?
The 11 hours to make the first one, I lost it. Had to go back, did it again. That one took me 7 hours. Then
Hey,
I put
everybody.
it up, and now every time I try to play it, something bad happens to the computer. So I don't know. It could be something. It is Halloween, Steve. Is it not? How's the missus? Hey, Nick.
She's good. She says hi.
Good?
She's waving at you.
All right. Well, here, let me see if I can get one, because before it wouldn't even let me pull anything up. Kept telling me it didn't recognize it and all
The
this.
screen
I
is
don't know.
so bright.
So how are you doing, Mr. Stockton?
I'm doing great.
You
Had
doing great?
a new book come out today, Legends and
Wow.
Stories from the Appalachian Trail. #1 new
Congratulations.
release on Amazon. So,
Yeah. What's your favorite story in there about? Your favorite one?
That'd be like
Give
trying
us
to
a
pick
brief.
a favorite.
Pick one. We won't tell.
I like the one about Dudleytown, Connecticut. It's a cursed town that
The whole
was
town?
eventually abandoned. Yeah, and you can't even get in there now. They'll get you for
Did they?
trespassing. But
Really?
the Ed Lorraine Warren claimed that it was there was demonic activity there.
Well, they'd claim it demonic activity in a bathroom at the Wendy's. Did I say
Only
that?
if you'd eaten there first. If you had
Only
the
if you
chili.
promised to write a book about it. No, I mean, I do. You know how we joke, but we've talked in depth about the Warrens, and it's like little this, little that. I mean, there's probably a lot of truth in there. Doesn't mean that the families that they, some of them weren't true. You have to sort it for yourself, like anything else. You can't take anything face value from anybody. Not me. Not
Not even me.
Believe none of what you hear, and only things
What
you
is it?
see.
Believe a quarter of what you hear and half of what you see.
only
And
what
now
your
you
mama-
can't believe any
Oh
of
my
that
God.
with all the AI and deep fakes and all that.
Steve, you've been telling that damn black-eyed kid story again. I swear to God, I ain't have nothing but when you're on. And did you tell it to somebody?
No, I
you bring
told it
something?
over on the Belief Hole.
When?
It's
How
been
long ago?
a couple weeks ago. So
That
it
stuff
would
might
be a
have
very,
some. Your
very
mileage
delayed
may
reaction.
vary, Mr. Stockton, because
Yeah,
I'm just
indeed.
telling you.
No, I haven't talked about them lately.
God, is this going to
And
play or
the
not?
severity of that has seemed to have lessened over time. That it
I don't know.
doesn't seem to cause the problems that it once did. As the computer running itself there, that's what it looks like.
Oh my God, I'm scared myself. Happy Halloween, everybody. We've got elves and okay, it finally came up. Well, here you go. Happy Halloween, y'all. I know you saw most of it. Did you see the little pumpkin telling the story? It was adorable. All that nostalgia, the peanuts, and
We
what was
watched
this? Bewitched.
The Great Pumpkin
you?
last night. Yeah.
Fantastic. There it is, right there.
Yep.
Yep. You can't have Halloween without the peanuts.
And
in
then
it.
today we've been watching the X-Files.
And oh gosh, yeah, and Garfield. I always liked Garfield. I liked him better as a silent cartoon, though. I think when they put him in they made him a real jerk.
Yeah, I like the old comic strips, but I didn't care for the show.
Yeah, exactly. And Ziggy, remember Ziggy? It was always a
little bald-headed thing with a big nose that always
never
having
forget.
some kind of problem.
My favorite one was he was like a almost made like a trophy, like if he was a trophy, and it said on the bottom, it said first place, or no, it didn't say first place. It said human race, also ran. I never forgot it. Oh my, well, I almost forgot it, didn't I? Okay, so here's your little song. This is just pretend this was your intro, and we'll pretend nothing happened. And this isn't the first time something like this happened to us, is it, Steve? One time, we took out the electric on half the block or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
And then that
Just
time we were on
Just
with Soraya Ascaf doing Where'd the Road Go?
Killed
he lost control. He works at he has a radio station. I can't remember the call letters. It's in upstate New York. I can't remember Ithaca. It's in
BOO, WBOO.
But anyway, he lost control of all his radio station stuff. And we were still going. We talked for a couple of hours before we even realized that he wasn't saying anything. He could hear us, but we couldn't hear him. He just let it roll. And yeah, we've taken a few out like that.
Look at all these beautiful people, Steve. Look at our gatekeepers in here and these beautiful mods.
Got a good looking crowd.
Bacon, to our new mods, we've introduced them, and I know the old mods have told them too. The only requirement is actually there's two: be chill and have a good time, and just get the recipe for these from all the other mods. And if you feel like you need to bake up a batch, well, then you just go right ahead, because we keep our chat chill.
Comment about that. I've got a new radio show over on Clyde Lewis's Ground Zero Radio Network, and in their merchandise they've got a coffee cup, and on the coffee cup it says "Shutta Fuh." It's your Shutta Fuh cup.
Okay. Say that 10 times fast. Did you just have a red one of those? What do you got? Are you switching back and forth? I swear it was red before. Yeah. No, it was like cranberry red. Okay. See?
Yeah, I've got like 3 different ones.
You're messing with me, dude. Oh,
got different flavors.
It's a hell of a show so far, Steve. What do you think?
It is, and we're just getting
Professional
started.
Is all get
also
out.
Want to mention we're going to be on with Shannon LeGros Into the Fray. Is it the 8th annual Halloween special that we've done with her? I
believe it
is. Or is this 9?
8,
like 8 or 9, and
like an infinity.
That'll be. I'm not sure when she's going to debut that or premiere that, but Cisco and I are being there for the
8th in a row.
It's at least the 8th year in a row. That's what it said in the chat room. But that might have been the one from last year. I don't know.
Could have very well been. I've lost track, but I'll tell you what, I was just thinking, most of those are about 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And we've done 8 of them. So that's, I can't imagine if we took,
hours.
Even if you took our greatest hits, Steve, we'd have a double album easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
And then speaking of, this coming Sunday, on Ground Zero Radio Network, on my show, Everything Out There, Cisco is my guest. We pre-recorded. It's a good show. You definitely want to listen to that.
We found a couple things to talk about, didn't we?
Yeah. 2 hours just flew by.
Yeah. I looked down. I thought, my gosh,
Yeah.
It's, what are we going to say?
I knew 2 hours wouldn't be a stretch for us.
No. So how's everybody doing this wonderful chat? Welcome in, Adam. Welcome, Adam Wilder. I saw you in here and you were telling us that it was cool. I've never seen anything like that, getting the computer that way. I must have hit a button, Steve.
It's a ghost in the machine. You got gremlins or goblins or something there.
I might have spilt something in the old keyboard. I don't know. I mean, it just went wackadoo. It was bad right in the middle of everything.
Somebody pressed the any key.
Yep. Hey, Cassie, how you doing, sweetheart? Hey, Andrew, welcome in. Hey, Lindsay, how you feeling, sweetie? I hope everybody's feeling good tonight. I really do. Lulu Bell, and that's Renice behind the Iron Curtain, I believe. And let's see.
Dimensional host. Maybe we're not supposed to box her
We're
like
not
that,
supposed to. She changed her name again now. See?
Yeah.
Did I just mess up?
Gray Wolf, Paranormal Lindsay, she's here. How you doing? Salvador Soto, how you doing, brother? Midwest Night Watchers, Gerald
Catherine
from Midwest Night Watchers. He's going to be a guest on my radio show coming up.
Hi, honey. Midwest. Hello, welcome in.
And then the lovely Nicole, my wife, is there in the chat.
Hey, Nick.
Friday,
sweetheart.
Friday the 13th, no less, will be our 3-month anniversary.
that fast. Look at that. Time just blink. It's gone.
Yeah,
Just run
in a
on.
way, it feels like it possibly couldn't have been 3 months, and then in other ways, it
Welcome
feels
in,
like I've been
everybody.
here for a long time. I love it. Here in New
I didn't
England,
call
it's
out your name.
cold.
Well,
The leaves are changing.
I'll
It's
try
been
to catch it.
rainy and stormy, and I love it.
Rainy and stormy, and gosh, I'm thinking about it. All those the leaves turning out there, and the pumpkins, and you got jack-o'-lanterns on the front porches yet?
Not yet.
They
We
should
got
be
two
out there.
pumpkins. You can't see them, but they're right over here behind me, next to that table where all the lights and stuff are.
I've got one right here all lit up. I've already got stuff. I've got a big
We're
old
gonna
crow.
wait till a
I've
little
got
closer
Harry's
to Halloween to carve them.
here.
And
Harry's here.
October 17th, McDonald's will have
Yeah.
the trick or treat pails for Happy Meals. They've got 4 this year. We got a
Tell you
mummy, Frankenstein,
Can you just buy the pail? Because I don't want the food. but
probably.
How much is just a pail? How much for just a pail?
I have no idea. We're gonna get 4 of them and tell them that make them all different, so that way we get everyone. Otherwise, the kids will fight over them. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yep. I remember when they had the Beanie Babies. Gosh, remember that craze? I
Yeah,
was working
people
at
were
a
fighting
florist.
over those.
Oh God, honey, I was working at a florist when those things came out, and I mean when they came out, when Princess Di, the purple, where people were just starting to say, Princess Di, I've already got her in a glass box, and she's the one with this stuffing, and not the stuffing that came out the second week it was in production. I just and I'm standing in the background just going, and trying virtually doing this and stuff.
That was
in the
a big
background.
deal at the time.
They were, Steve.
People
they were bringing
paying
their
hundreds of
lounge
dollars for
chairs,
some of those.
their Stanley tell me. They'd come in Stanley thermoses. They're 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning out there. These idiots out there printed out all because computers were just really coming into where people had printers and were really getting into the interwebs and all that stuff and printing this stuff out. And they'd have the pictures of the ones that were coming out, and they were getting in line to make sure they got one. And they were bidding on the really, really rare ones. And my boss would take 3 or 4 of them in the back room behind the curtain, and they'd bid on them. She'd sell them things $300, $400, $500 a piece.
Yep.
And how I know for sure.
What are they worth now? About $10 probably.
Oh yeah, you had to be in on that. You strike while the iron's hot. I mean, it's like anything, any fad. Pet
Yeah,
rock,
and there were speculators that bought into them that probably still have them because it's a fad. Like
it got to be the
pet
production
rock
was so
or the
much.
hula hoop or
Yeah. When everybody had Hot Wheels cars, that's one that's still going strong.
Yeah.
Or those Pez dispensers.
I've got this year's Halloween editions of the Hot Wheels. I've got those put in the spare room.
Do you really? Man, I'll tell you. Oh, what you got there, Steve? Is that perhaps a Dunkin' Donuts
Dunkin'
coffee?
Donuts.
Look at that. Preferred coffee.
If you're a New Englander, you got to have your dunks.
Of the Monday Madness here. It's an unpaid promotion, but we do accept coffee. So if they want to send us each a case.
If Dunkin' wants to give me free coffee for a year,
I don't want any damn donuts. Just give me the coffee.
Just give me the
coffee.
None
of that flavored stuff. Coffee flavored coffee, straight up, dark roast, dark as you got. There you go. Just simple. It's simple. Nothing fancy. No whipped cream. No sugar. No. Not even any pumpkin spice. Not in the coffee.
No. I've had some pumpkin spice this year. I've had more this year than I've ever had.
But that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
I don't want it in my coffee. I don't want flavored this, that, and the other thing. I don't like sticks and berries in my beer. I like Boston Lager, and I like coffee that tastes like coffee. I'm a very simple person. I like my hot wings hot.
They really have pumpkin spice
cold.
beer. Now, I had a pumpkin donut from Dunkin' the other day. That was actually really good. And this morning, Scott's Life and Fascinations here, he gave us a bread maker as a wedding gift. And I made pumpkin bread in it yesterday.
Now, see, that sounds tasty.
Today I made apple walnut cinnamon. I love making those sweet breads.
And you know what that stuff goes great with? Plain
What's
coffee.
That?
Just coffee.
Yeah, plain black coffee.
Yeah, this is why. You don't want your flavors all up in the coffee. That's just me. Like I said, I mean, I never drank coffee till I got the basic training, and it was cold. And I saw those big old OD green barrels with the steam coming out of it where they were heating up. And I'm like, you know what? Give me some of that hot coffee. And I figured I'd start training at that then, because there probably wasn't going to be any sugar or cream if I'm going to drink it. I'm going to get used to drinking the worst coffee, and I'll tell you what, it tasted the best because it was cold, and just holding that cup was everything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's why.
Get that nice hot coffee and just put your hands around it.
Yep. And pray to God you get to train in the truck that's got the heater. Good old days. All right, so how about a song, y'all? Listen, this thing, I don't know.
Cisco's going to sing us a song.
We're going to ask. No. You're going to watch this damn video.
You heard her. You got your orders, folks. Watch this damn video.
This son of a bitch took me 11 hours. I kid you not.
11 hours.
11 hours
of her life that she'll never get back. Watch this video and appreciate it. Smack that like button. Donate to the channel. Subscribe if you're not already.
It's worse. I did it last
Throw
Monday.
some bacon in the chat. Do something.
I
Hey, Vixen Doe, how you doing?
Hey, Vixen Doe. And hey, Catherine. Did I say hey to you, Catherine? I think I did. Hey, Ron. And bless everybody for being here. So anyhow, on with the mess. So no, and then I lost it. How sad is I lost it? I couldn't find it. I searched his computer up one side.
Cisco, you lost it a long time ago. We both
know. Which is fine because I'm there. It's like it is what it is. So I said, look, I did it once. I'll do it again. That one took me 7 hours because I already had some of the stuff. Hey, Frozen Moments. So
Frozen Moments, how you doing?
Hey,
Frozen
Steve.
Moments, I've got a new blog where I'm doing storytelling. It's called Around the Campfire. Frozen Moments, subscribe to it. And I think he's got a blog coming or something there, if I read that correctly. Is that cool. Right, Frozen?
Good,
From
good,
the
good.
hills of Appalachia there.
I'll take all that bacon, Frozen. Thank you. And thank you, Steve, for the bacon as well. And thank you all for being here.
Hey, Steve C.
And I'm sorry it's such a mess, but there was something definitely wrong with this daggum computer.
Steven, I got Steve C's. I got your other book shipping out tomorrow. He ordered some books from me, so he's got.
I wasn't brought up with a computer in my hand. You know what I mean? And I'm just like mashing buttons, screw it, escape.
Hit the any key.
Just abort mission and start all over. So sometimes that works it out. So. And you know what? They need to do a lot of things like that. They need to unplug a lot of things and see if it doesn't kick it back into shape, Steve. All right, so let's watch this.
Did you try turning it off and back on?
No, listen. So I had to make it again, and that one was 7 hours. And then I tried to play it, and it wouldn't play. And then tonight I'm trying to play it and the whole computer shoots to heck. So I don't know what's going to happen, but disclaimer, I'm not responsible for any vases that might fall off the shelves or pictures that fall over or car alarms that go off.
Paranormal activity. It's the time of year when the veil is thin.
I ain't making any promises because it is a ghost video. And it's, again, if you're wearing headphones, it's going to be loud, so you might want to just turn it down or turn it up, as Nino says. So here we go. Happy damn Halloween, y'all. Hey.
Hear me. Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared?
There you go. We did it. Oh my goodness. How about that? We did it. Happy Halloween, everybody. Wasn't that fantastic? So, I mean, again, I have to pay homage to YouTube Creator Studio. It's jam-packed with music. So if you're doing a project that's on YouTube and you want to make sure it's copyright safe and it's cool with the composer, whoever is doing it, you go in there and you put your license in, whatever you have. If you just want to give them, of course, mention in the video and in your description, and it's always there at the bottom underneath the video if you ever want to check out their music. But it's just so cool for creators because you can go in there and say, I want something that's, like a little jazzy or a little bluesy or, kind of. It's hard sometimes to find something if you're looking for like Renaissance or minuets or if you're doing haunted castles. But if you put in like horror, haunted, ghosts, Halloween, sad, dramatic, you can find stuff and you come across gems like that. Now that's not exactly, I wouldn't like drive like with that kind of music, but the fact that the theme was ghost, well, the rest was easy. So that was fun putting that together. I hope you enjoyed it. And it's again, it pays kind of, I don't want to say homage, but it's more like putting in the spotlight creativity as far as all the musicians and the artists who do the gifts and the people who do the little videos and the loops and everything that you can grab and put together and make something like that is, and for other people to listen to, that it might lift your spirits or make you smile or go, wow, that was kind of cool. Or, even if you just like the music and you're just smiling at animals and stuff, it lifts your vibration. And it's so cool to see that happen with total strangers. They don't know I'm using their music. I'm sure they don't look around each time you do. They gave it to YouTube and said, this is how I want it used. And it's all over the internet. And you can recognize some of the songs sometimes because people use them all the time, commercials and whatever. Instagram videos and things like that. You get to recognize some of these songs. So I think it's kind of cool. That's for you. Just a little Halloween treat. And I don't know where Steve is, but I'm sure he'll be back here soon. Meanwhile, tonight's theme is about ghost photography and anything to do with last night we had Sin Schrader Hill on the show. It was a great show. If you didn't see it, go watch it. Last night's live with Sin, because it's so much fun when she's on. We can just talk ghosts, and we can watch a video and kind of both give our our vantage point and our thoughts on it, and try to learn from each other and from the chat. It's kind of cool. Hey, Scott's Life, how you doing? Welcome in, Tattooed Biker. So that got me thinking about a story we told last night about that. There was a train wreck, and I remember little bits about this story, forgive me, but I saw it in a couple of shows. I don't know whether it was the Sightings or Unsolved Mysteries or something along that line in that time frame. But it was a train wreck. Many people died. It was a terrible tragedy. And it seems that the town, to cover up cutting corners, I believe, on the bridge or the track or something along those lines, just let the blame fall on the crew, who had all perished in the accident. Well, there was a ghost of one of those crew members who didn't like that too much and kept showing up in photography, in different pictures that tourists and stuff were taking over time. You'd see this guy standing in the background, PhotoBOMB in these pictures, and wearing like overhauls, and he's got the engineer hat or whatever. Very interesting. Was even more interesting was he kind of did it a little bit more to a couple of the locals that would go there often, and got the interest of a couple of ladies that went to the Historical Society and started digging around on this case, and got into it a little bit more supernaturally, let's say, and uncovered this crime and kind of cleared their names, so to speak. And after that happened, he wasn't in the pictures anymore. He disappeared out of all the pictures that he had photobombed. Very interesting. I wish I could remember all the details, but if I ever find it, I'll bring it, and record it. Now, at the same time, I'm looking kind of funny here because I'm trying to search for when the computer went nuts. It threw all of my videos out of the StreamYard showroom, so to speak, like the green room where you have all your videos ready to show. Kicked them all out. So I'm looking for, what was it? Ghosts and Photos. Looking for the one that I made for tonight. So how y'all doing? I hope everybody's feeling good tonight. I know there's a lot of awful things going on in the world all at the same time, and it's very hard to focus and just to breathe. Sometimes you find that you're taking these little short breaths, almost like, and you're kind of holding it and just and holding it because there's just so much coming at you. So as a light worker, you got to remember to just kind of breathe out real slow, and then breathe in through your nose real slow, and just kind of slow it all down. You know what I mean? You have to do that every once in a while, because if you don't, the world has us like trying to vibrate up here, and with kind of a very tense frequency to it, and we're not good there. You got to come down out of that every once in a while and just breathe. And bear with me while I look for this video, because I made it for this. I hate it when it just throws your stuff. If you saw the amount of downloads I have on this computer, and it's in a special place, but there's quite a bit. I wonder where Steve is. Steve, are you out there? Are you okay? Ah, I found it. Okay. Wow. Did you see it? So, yeah, ghost photography. Now, Steve and I have talked about this subject before, and I like to bring up the fact that, of course, if you're going to talk about this, you have to mention the fact, in case you guys didn't know, Steve has been involved in photography for quite a long time. And it was out, and I'll let him tell it, but out there in Las Vegas in the area. And okay, sweetie, thank you. Hey, Nick, hope you're feeling well. Tell him not to hurry. I'm tell a little story. So you know me. So he worked out there, and he ran into some kind of paranormal episodes out there. And the cool part is Steve, I believe, used to do a little bit of, if you're kind of from my age group, you remember this, where people used to go out and eat for dinner, and you'd sit at the table with your friends or whatever. Somebody would come around and ask if you wanted your picture taken all together, and then they'd sell it to you and put it in a little frame. Right, Steve?
Yeah, I used to work for a company that did that in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Tell it. Can you tell it?
If you're in any of the high-end restaurants or either nightclubs at the big casinos.
Yeah.
I won't say the name of the company, but they've had that franchise since the 60s. They come around, they take you, if you're in any of the shows out there, if you go to the Cirque shows or Elton John or Celine Dion, Cirque du Soleil, any of those things. Yeah, they come around when you're being seated. They take your picture. They run it back up to the photo lab. They print them out, put it in a handsome leatherette album, and try to hustle you for $40 or $50.
Whoa!
And they make a fortune. They make a fortune.
Golly! But I remember my mom brought home a couple of those.
I wasn't a photographer. I was the lab manager.
She went somewhere. It was like a in the background you could see like a tiki bar, but I mean, there was like thatched roofs all around the bar and on the inside too, and you wondered.
Was that in Las Vegas?
No, this one had to be. It was more than likely on the Jersey Shore.
Oh, okay. You're talking.
And it was probably mob owned. It was probably mob owned.
There's at the time the world's only 24-hour tiki bar. When I was there, it was in Las Vegas. It was can't remember the name of it. It was over on Charleston, I think. But anyway, I remember when they had those tiki bars. A lot of people had them in their homes, and then one of my uncles on my mom's side, he owned a tiki bar and restaurant in Oak Ridge, and then later it was something else.
Well, this one I think was probably on the Jersey Shore. I remember that they were all wearing the flower lace around their neck, and a big old glass of wine, big old crystal ashtrays on the white linen table with the little candles. You know, the little candle.
That was the same era was the Italian supper clubs. Do you remember those?
That's what I'm saying. This was one of them, but they made it like a
tiki bar.
You know, pineapple and bananas hanging everywhere, and there's straw. You know, and somebody lit a cigarette, and they smoked in there like chimneys. You know, but a lot of those went up too, Steve. Whether on purpose or not, we'll never know. But
yeah, there
it is. So, tell us a little bit about some of the experiences you had working and doing that with photography. You've had, if you think about it, we're so used to it, guys, of going through this. And I don't mean to say like we're anybody. I'm not saying that. It's just we've had some experiences and been in this for a long, long time. Talked to so many people that have had experiences and heard so many stories.
Even the photographers in those casinos, they would have stuff show up in the picture that wasn't there. One of the ones that springs to mind, I don't know if it's still there or not, but on top of the Rio, there it's off strip, but on top of the Rio, they've got the Voodoo Lounge Steakhouse or something like it, Voodoo something, and they have all these voodoo sigils and stuff painted on the wall. It's authentic. And one of my photographers brought her card up, and I was printing out the pictures, and behind her, and there was no other tables, behind her there's a napkin, a black napkin in mid-flight. And I'm like, did somebody throw a napkin at you? She said that there was nobody back there, but it was the people bought it because it was so anomalous, but it was just it looked like a black napkin in mid-flight right behind the people.
Man.
And there wasn't anybody throwing napkins.
There wasn't anybody there. And then there was the time you worked in a place. Where was it when you worked? And I think it was you had runners that used to run the film or something after and they ran it. And
I've got a video
Can you tell
on
it?
13 Past Midnight, a haunted Bally's Casino.
Yep.
That's right there, kind of mid-strip. Well, that's where the old MGM was that caught fire back in, I want to say 1980, 81, whenever it was.
Wow.
And several people lost their lives there from fire, from smoke inhalation, and from jumping out the windows. And that got a thing passed in Las Vegas. They have to have sprinklers and fire alarms in there now. But instead of just tearing it down, they tore down the part that burned and retrofitted Bally's Casino into the old MGM location. And where the photo lab was, it was upstairs above. Anybody ever see those Dean Martin roasts back in the 1970s? That was the Jubilee showroom at Bally's, back when it was the MGM, of course. And upstairs, they called it the Celebrity Hallway. That's where the green room was. That's where all the celebrity dressing rooms was. There was a table in the hallway out there that all these people had signed. Elvis had signed it, and Sinatra, and the Rat Pack, and all those people. Well, in that lab, I had runners, a couple of Hispanic kids, their cousins. We were late waiting for the evenings to start. We got there early. I unlocked all the cameras and stuff. And we saw a black mass come out of the wall, cross the room, and then go into the cabinets and disappear. And, I see stuff sometimes, so I wasn't going to say anything. But those two kids jumped up and started crossing themselves, and they left. They went home. I had to call across the street to Caesars and borrow a couple of their runners. They had a much bigger operation over there. But all kinds of things happened there. There was, hey, Scott's Life and Interest. I was just bragging about more bread that I baked in that bread maker you gave us.
That bread maker. I know you had. That's what.
There was a room there that it had been an old dark room back when they originally started that business. They processed film. You had a really short film strip, take 4 or 5 pictures, and then you'd run your film canister back to the lab, and they'd print it out before it was digital. And back in the back was the dark room, and had the developer tanks and stuff in there. They'd modernized it. But that room, the door wouldn't stay shut, and the light wouldn't stay turned off. And I'd get there early. Like I said, I'd go in, be the first one there. I'd lock the door behind me till time to open up. And every time, just about, I'd go in there, that sliding door is like a pocket door. That would be open into the old dark room. And the light is one of those that you have a pull thing. That would be on. And there was also an electrical access panel that just would not stay shut. And one day I was there, and one of the mid-level managers had come by, and he'd done what I'd done before he moved up, what I did. And he was back there looking around. He said, "You ever?" How'd he say it? So something like, "That don't feel right back here." And said, "That door won't stay shut back there, will it?" And I was just like, "Yeah, it happened to you too, huh?" And he said, "Oh yeah." And there's numerous things. I've got about, I think it's a 15 or 20 minute video over on 13 Past Midnight. I just re-premiered that for 31 Nights of Halloween the other night. So go listen to the full story, but it's a creepy place.
There's a lot of stories on there. And some of them are short, some of them are long, and some of them are like collections. And
some of them are Cisco's.
And some of them are me. But the thing is this, it's not just the season. The thing is, we can't get enough of it. Every time you hear something, it's a little different, or it's a little bit, more creepy. Everybody's got their niche. You know what I mean? Some people like creepy pasta. Some people like slasher movies. Some people like the old stuff, the Universal monsters. Some people like this Dracula or that Dracula. Or
I like Hammer horror is my favorite. The old Hammer.
Or nostalgia. It's like when I did that video in the beginning, when the pumpkin's talking, it was just too cute and too Halloween not to share.
Yeah.
And the thing is in the background is all this nostalgia, but what you don't realize is you're watching what 40 years, 50 years of
Longer than that.
Halloween
Yeah.
in our life.
The Peanuts film, The Great Pumpkin,
When
that
that
came
come
out 1966.
Did it?
So it's
The Great Pumpkin?
57 years old this year. Yeah.
Holy mackerel! Holy
And
mackerel!
watching it here, I was remembering all the ads. Remember they used to advertise the Dolly Madison snack
Yes.
cakes.
Yes, yeah. I remember when they were
That
on the
was their-
package.
Their sponsor.
I remember when they were on the package too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I can't remember what it was, but I remember the one that Lucy was on really stunk. I don't know whether it was raspberry cream filled
Yeah, I think
zinger.
They had
I
the
think it was a
raspberry
zinger.
zingers. They had the regular zingers. They had the chocolate zingers.
Now they were
And then
good.
they had the little donuts. I liked the raspberry ones. And I think
Yeah.
they had an orange coconut or something
Oh.
one time.
Oh
Those were
God,
very
it's
good.
just too sweet. Ugh.
But I
Nasty.
like the raspberry zingers.
And
when I
I'm
was a
picky
kid.
about my chocolate. I'm more like a ho-ho. Ho-ho, yo-yo,
Yeah,
ho-ho. I think it's a
ho-hos and
hostess.
ding dongs, unless
They
you're
look
in
like a
a
hockey puck.
certain market, and then they called them King Dons because they couldn't say ding dong. So
Yeah. And they were wrapped in the thinnest foil.
very thin foil. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are good.
That,
You could, if
that
you were
chocolate on there is bar
if you were
none.
talented, you could stick a whole one in your mouth.
Let's not go there, Steve.
The thing I liked about the zingers, if they were a little stale, you could peel that chocolate layer of
Careful.
frosting just
Careful,
right
Mr.
off the top
Stockton.
of it and eat that by itself.
You're in a minefield, man. Just retrace your steps and back on out.
Hey, Tattooed Biker, Unexplained. How you doing? Tattooed Biker and I are going to do some stuff together. I think he's going to be on my radio show.
There we go. We're no longer monetized, folks. Because YouTube's going to think he's talking in code about something sexual, and we all
Ding
know
dong,
he's
it's a
talking
snack
paranormal.
cake from Hostess.
It's a snack
or
cake. Love of God.
Also
snack
known as
cake.
King Dons, depending on what market you're in. They didn't want
Ring a ding dong.
Yeah.
My ding
Ring a ding ding.
My ding
Ring a ding ding. Ding dongs are the thing.
My ding
Chuck Berry.
My ding I hope to God he's all right. Is he passed? Is he still with us? We didn't mean it. We didn't mean it, Chuck. We take it back.
Chuck Berry.
I met him. I met
I
Chuck
met
Berry.
him too. He was at the TVA&I Fair. That's the
The where?
Tennessee Valley Agricultural and Industrial Fair. They have it in September every year in Knoxville.
My God.
And, he was the entertainment one time, and met him backstage. He put on a good show. He was old then. That was when I was a kid.
I bet he did. I met him. Where was it? I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. Boy, all the best stories start that way, don't they? That one, I got one where it starts out. The circus was in town, but I can't tell that here. So anyway, I'm a senior in high school, and I was working at the rest stop on the New Jersey Turnpike on exit 98. Short points. That's like, what exit are you from? That's what they ask down here when you say you're from Jersey. What exit? You know, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was working there. And what you have to imagine, this is a big rest stop. This is like in the late 70s. And it was halfway between New York City and Atlantic City. So it was when you're driving from Atlantic City to New York City, this is the actual, the stop you take, because it's that kind of, halfway point, right? So anyway, we saw everybody. I saw all kinds of stuff. But this night I look up and there's a man, and I'm ringing up that night. And it's like a big banquet place. You go in, you pick a tray, and you go, give me some of that, some of this, some of this, some of that, whatever, Coke, give me some mashed potatoes, a scoop of green beans, whatever. You pick your stuff all the way around. It's a big place, huge, huge, huge place. And I happen to jump in as a cashier, and I'm ringing people up. You just adding stuff up on the tray and ringing stuff up. And I turn and look at the guy, and I'm right here. I'm at his belt buckle. I look up, and he's wearing this real flashy, like yellow shirt, real silky. And I could tell right away this was money. You could just tell everything, the fabric on things, you know what I mean? Just, you can tell. So I'm going, oh God, this is money. And the rings on this guy's hands, and his hands took up half of the whole side of the tray. That's how big his hands were. And I followed these arms up, and I looked, and way up here is Chuck Berry. And I recognized him, but I didn't act like I did. And because I saw so many people, and I learned that you can talk to people a lot longer if you don't act like a wackadoo. So you try to internalize it. Inside you're screaming, and you're going like this,
And I started talking to him about guitars. I was like, "Hey, Chuck, good show. What kind of guitars out there?" And he's, "Oh, this is a Gibson E53 ES or something." I don't remember.
I didn't even want to bother him, man. I just, told him. And they would tip us and stuff like that. I used to get really, really big, huge tips because if they won big in Atlantic City, they were just generous with their money and half drunk, because they're going back to New York City. Come up, big limousines and pull up, and all these people get out. And,
I got a story about that from a guy that it happened to.
Yeah. Well, let me just finish Chuck Berry. So Chuck Berry is so tall. When I walked by, because I was going by and helping everybody and picking up trays and things, this guy was so tall he couldn't sit in the booth. When he sat in the booth, his knees came up to the table. He had to sit with his knees outside the table. It was crazy, and his hands and his arms were so long, and his hands were so big. And he gave me the nicest smile, and I just said, "You have a nice night." And he said, "You too, baby." Just the way he said it, but it was really sweet.
That's the way he talked.
And it was a nice bump into. There was not a great big. He was with a lot of people, but anyway, I met a lot of people out there. Go ahead, Steve, you take it. And then I got a video for us.
Talking about tips and stuff. I met an older gentleman. I think he worked at the Riviera, which is gone now. They imploded that one. But
it's crazy,
he was there,
right?
and he was a doorman back in the day. I don't know if it was at the Riviera or somewhere else, but Frank Sinatra pulled up in a limo, and he opened the door for him. And Frank stopped and started to hand him $100 bill. And he said, "Kid, what's the biggest tip you ever got?" And he said, $100, sir. Sinatra reaches in his pocket, pulls out a wad of cash that would choke a horse, peels off another 100. So he gives the guy $200 for opening the door for him. Said, "Who gave you the $100? And the guy said, "It was you, Mr. Sinatra." That's a true story.
Yeah. He was really something. I mean, what a story he had. What a life, I remember watching.
He was a wild man, especially
a video.
Like Tahoe.
My God, he had to be like 20 or something, maybe early 20s, and he was
back when he was a matinee idol.
Yeah, he
was
doing
they called
with
him
a bunch
the
of kids. The Voice, yeah, he was with a bunch of kids, and he was doing this
Bobby Soxers,
anti-racist video. It was really good, about all the different stuff you see. Because listen, in New York, you lived in groups in places in town. It was all Russian. It was all then it was all Italian, and it was all Polish. It was all where all the Greeks, lived and hung out. And it might very well still be. I don't know. I mean, I live real close to it, but I haven't been to New York in forever. But that's just the way it's always been because of the Ellis Island and groups coming over, and then of course just gravitating to where you would fit in the best and know people and know the language, and you know what I mean. So everything was kind of broke up like that, and different. What do you do? Do you have another color? Is that a purple one now?
Purple and yellow. It's passion fruit lemonade.
It's like the carousel of vapes. It's like I'm telling you.
I quit smoking cigarettes.
Married,
I still get my nicotine. Nicotine and caffeine. I'm
what's
a fiend
that one? Fruity
for
Pebbles?
both those. But I don't smoke. I haven't had a cigarette in months.
God,
but
now you're
I
making
still
me
like
have
the
one.
nicotine. I'm Aspie, and our brain loves caffeine, nicotine, and sugar. And I've cut out the sugar. I stopped drinking sodas. I drink pretty much water all the time now. Occasionally I run it through a few coffee grounds first or get a Dunkin'. But I cut out sodas. I've lost a bunch of weight just since I've been here.
That's awesome. Again, not a paid promotion from Dunkin' Donuts, but we do work for coffee. So if anybody out there wants to send us
if you'd like to sponsor us, give us free coffee for a year, and we'll talk about you.
Don't want any of the donuts. Look, I
might take a box of Munchkins, but I do want the donuts.
No, that's a lie. It was my second job. My first job was at the bakery. My second job was at Dunkin'. Then I left and I went and worked at a Dunkin' in Tampa, Florida. From Jersey Shore to Tampa, Florida, worked at one there, and that was it. But I have worked for the company twice.
And I'd forgotten that they used to have soup, and I don't even remember the chili, but I remember
chili.
Seems like it was right there at the counter, like where they'd ring you up. They had
it was in a big vat.
The steamers sitting right there, and they dipped you out a bowl of chicken soup if that's what you wanted.
Big old vat, big old ladle, and they had the bowls and stuff there. And the only thing they had when I started working there was the cinnamon roll, and you had to put it in the microwave for a certain amount of time, and then serve it with a fork. And people loved it. People loved it. And I remember my manager, the first week I was there, he was all hyped up and crazy, excited about a new product that was coming out called the Dunkin' Munchkin.
Yep.
And we were to learn all about the Dunkin' Munchkins.
I remember the first time I saw an ad for those.
Here we go.
Had to have them. And the next time we went to visit my Aunt Frenchie, she lived in Love Towers in downtown Knoxville. It was like a retirement home. Big old tall building, two of them. There were two twin towers there. Well, out on Magnolia Avenue in Knoxville, there was a Dunkin' Donuts, and that was the only one around that I knew of. And we stopped, and this was in a bad part of town. And I ran in there and got a box of Dunkin' Munchkins, and it seemed like it had a little girl, she had like pigtails or something. It was looked kind of Norwegian looking.
Little Debbie?
And you could cut that out and make a mask out of it. No, it's on a box of Dunkin' Munchkins.
Wow. I don't remember her. I remember the cookies. I remember we got cookies. The chocolate chip, again, in the microwave. You had to warm them at a certain thing. Is the chat cool? People are starting to talk in all capital letters. Is everything cool? We've had some issues in the past, Steve, and I've had to wield the hatchet, the grand hatchet. If I don't maybe get my sledgehammer. What's going on? Everything good? Mods, do we have this? Everything good? All right. So,
trying to find a picture here of the original package.
I just want to make sure everybody's okay.
Now this,
I'm feeling
they had
weird
a little thing you could carry, but here's the
Do you still have your mask?
Oh no. This was the bucket. You can't see that here.
You still have your little orphan Annie there. Wait a minute. What is it? Wait a minute. It looks like a can of Mountain Dew.
That's a bucket. Let me see if I can.
Hold on. Maybe go the other direction.
Too bright.
Yeah, it's too bright.
But
wear shades.
It's a girl. She's wearing like a derby, and she has a flower in her hair. There you go. You can kind of see her now.
My God,
that was on the bucket, but it was also on the little box. You could get a box of Dunkin' Munchkins. And on the back of the box at Halloween, you could cut the mask out. And, of course, it had jelly donut stuff on it and powdered sugar. But
we don't need some of these, do we? All good? All right. Don't make me get the kitty.
Was that for me?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Shut up, Steve.
Listen, we gotta bring Mother Superior in. Hold on. Here we go. Sister Felicity Immaculata, Mother Superior of the Order of Eternal Indifference, sends you blessings on this day. There you go. It's all better. We good? All right. Whew. No, that was something's going down in the chat, Steve. We had to call the exorcist, I think. We're good now, right? Everybody's settled. Everything's good. All right, so let's watch some. You want to see some ghosts?
Let's watch. Is that the ghost pictures?
Well, here's the thing, Steve. In it as long as we have, I was thinking there's some that we've seen 1,000 times. And I say that's not hyperbole. I mean, God, laying on the floor in front of the big Zenith, got the encyclopedia out, or maybe
the
a
Reader's
book from
Digest
the library.
Book of the Supernatural or the Timeline.
Seeing the brown lady of what's her face coming down the stairs, and thinking, is that real?
That one you used in the thumbnail where the people are sitting around the table and there's a thing hanging upside down. What is that?
That's crazy. It's horrible. It's because look, it looks like a guy hanging upside down by his ankles.
We were talking about the Warrens earlier. One of the pictures that used to scare the bejesus out of me was The investigation they did at the Amityville Horror House,
It's in
where
here.
there's a picture just of the living room, and upstairs, peeking
Yep.
through the banister, there's a little boy with like red glowing eyes. That is chilling.
You know, and we went over the controversy on that one from the vantage point going through the Warrens, through the vantage point of the reporter that was there, the photographer, well, video guy that was there, from the news, whatever news team sent him. He drew the short straw. The reporter wanted to be there. This was kind of her jam, you know, and she was there with the Warrens. We went all the way through that, all the vantage points of the whole thing. They all, you know, the one older reporter, the older male that was there, he was kind of like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to say. But everybody else said, look, that's, you know, there was nobody there. They didn't do it. You know, it wasn't on any other pictures. It's on the negative, yada, yada, the whole spiel. So really all you're left with is a bunch of people saying they believe and they were there. One person that doesn't want to really jump on that side of the fence yet, but he can't really go on the other one either. All right. And then you got your own filters. So really we're still left just like we always are, Steve, in that thing where it's up to you. It's up to you.
Yeah.
What do you think after looking at all the facts, all the debunking, all the whatever, common sense angle, that whatever, by the time you're done throwing every theory and template for a theory, you know, at something, what are you left with? Your own free will and choice, right? You know, based on what you know, what you think, you know. And it's crazy to get in here. Sometimes we'll have, like, I'll tell you what, every time you bring up the Patterson film, it always starts a big ruckus because some people think it's fake because they heard 2 or 3 people say it was, for whatever reason. And that doesn't matter. The point is, or, you know, the same amount of people will be over here and go, well, they heard that, you know, the fake. So you actually have people with something that's that old, like the Patterson Gimlin film, you know, the one with the Bigfoot, right?
Still arguing about
It's so old, still arguing about it because they'll be on the other side and well, they know the fact that it was real. And then you got deathbed confessions and nurses that overheard whatever, giving some guy a freaking enema or some mess, you know. I'm just saying, it's all there.
Well,
it's all there. You
the
got
thing
letters.
that always got me about the Gimlin Patterson film, the people that claimed it was a suit, number one, that is a female Bigfoot, Patty, they call her. It has pendulous breasts that swing when it walks. I don't think they would have thought to
and people
do
even
that in
pointed
effect.
out and shown the baby. That's in the.
Plus, if you look at the costumes that were available for film and television around that era, look at the gorilla, say, on Gilligan's Island, or the Beverly Hillbillies, or the Planet of the Apes films.
Or that guy that we had on our episode, Steve, talking about, he was the number one guy that did that for the movies, and he said he 100% believed it. And he was the number one.
There's no way
he was
at
a
that time
Lon
they could have
Chaney
made a
of the
costume like
70s.
that.
Yeah, he was the Lon Chaney of the 70s. I can't remember. He was French or Portuguese or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he had a wonderful accent, and he was just so excited about it when he told. And it was in that old, when we did Bigfoot and Sepia, it was in that, Peter Graves was hosting it. And, you know, they
love Peter Graves.
You've got 4, that's the one where you had 4 guys sitting at, maybe 5, sitting at the picnic table, and each one of them they were Bigfoot investigators. They had each been in it between 15 and 25 years apiece. And they were all sitting there they all had their own evidence, their own theories, their own, the whole spiel. And Steve and I are going, that was 1973. And we're still sitting here going, what do you got? You know, it's crazy. You know, it's time to move past whether these things exist and just get into all the differences. And, you know, I think the big thing, it's like ghosts, Steve. When you have 2 people that have had knowledge in, say, a Bigfoot, and they're sitting at the picnic table and they're all talking. And the thing that they argue about is, this guy says this Bigfoot was aggressive and had long nails and something else. And then this guy sits over here and says, no, they're docile and their nails are very short due to slinging rocks all day or whatever. And instead of saying, wait a minute, hold up, is it possible that we're talking about a similar type of creature, but they're just a little bit different, like
Yeah, like you were
humans?
pointing out the squirrels. In different areas, you have
Yeah.
different sizes,
And
you
like
have different
humans.
colors of
Yeah.
squirrels, and some squirrels are aggressive, some are more timid. And I think it's just the same with people.
Can you imagine aliens? Okay, Steve, look at it this way, because I can't. The reason I harp on this so much, and I guess I am harping or ranting, whatever you want to call it. The thing is you go to a wonderful paranormal convention or whatever kind of convention, similar, the cult, whatever, and this is where the argument starts, or the disagreement. It's because they'll start saying, no, my ghost did this, so therefore all ghosts do these things. And they'll say, no, ghosts are this, and they only do these things. They won't hurt you. Well,
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
not a
ghosts
one size fits all. Your
instead of
mileage may vary.
there you go. It's
I went to
just
Squatch Fest in
different.
Longview, Washington in, I think, 2020 and 2021. And there was almost fist fights when those people would get up there and talk about Bigfoot in the area where people were speaking.
Huh?
Just agree
Totally
to disagree and talk
understood,
about
Adam.
something else. But
And
fascinating. And I met
was
Bob
just
Gimlin there. I've got
yeah.
had a still of the Patty film, the Patterson Gimlin film that's blown up. But Bob
Here's
thought he knew me. I'd never met him before, and I was walking past him. I was going to Clyde Lewis's table.
maybe
He's
you
like,
did,
"Hey,
Steve.
kid," and
Yeah, maybe
big
you
old
did.
hands.
You
He's a
just
real
got
cowboy.
Men
He's
in
like in
Black
his
or
80s
something.
or something. Yeah, I don't know, but
You might have got Men in Black. I
I
mean,
was with
they
somebody
just
from
wiped
a
your
radio
memory out.
station. They're like, "Do you know him?" And I'm like, "I've never met him before in my life. I know who he is." And they're like, "Well, he knows you. Thinks
You
he
never
does.
know, man.
Maybe he saw me on the YouTube. I don't know, but
I'm
he
listening,
seems
Mr.
genuine.
Stockton.
I
I'm trying to
believe
catch.
he believes what he says. Same with Travis Walton, the UFO guy. I saw him speak
Yeah.
before. He's either the world's greatest liar and deserves an Academy Award, or he
Or
believes what he saw.
and see, this is it. I feel like this. It's almost like I think I get agitated. It's not the word. It's not that. It's more like kind of excited, pushy, I guess, because look, when you're old, you know what I mean? You kind of know you're running out of time and you're like, okay, where do I want to get to by the, again, nobody knows, right? Tomorrow, next 100 years, who knows? So you start to think, okay, do I want to be the guy sitting in 1973 at the picnic table and have this conversation where at least their conversation was elevated to the point in their journeys into research in Bigfoot. And again, you could change Bigfoot to ghost, whatever you want to, ghost, chupacabra, aliens, whatever. All of it fits because what they moved on to is not a conversation of whether or not Bigfoot exists, but the fact that they're coming to the end of their journey in their search, and what they're willing to do to prove that they have been correct all this time and not feel like they've wasted that 25 years or that, in some cases 15 years, whatever, around that table, because they had all been in it a very long time. And I found that very interesting because unless you're around a table out having dinner at a paranormal convention or whatever, and you've got a bunch of paranormal investigators who are in the same boat where they've been doing it for 30 years and what do they want to leave it with? And you get to see some of that. You get to see some of these people like early ghost hunter groups and stuff like that who have branched off and doing their own thing, something more in their niche, of the paranormal. Just like you do in Hollywood, you see actors branching off and being directors or producers or writers or whatever, and getting more honed in on their skill and what interests them. But in our interest, in our genre, I find it very interesting because we're kind of, the clock is ticking and we're kind of trying to get people to the point of, Oswald didn't do it alone, and get to what really did happen. And that goes for the paranormal or a lot of these true crime mysteries and things like that. Like you hit a wall with like Jack the Ripper. You kind of feel like you've taken that to the, you're never going to know. You're never going to know. There's too much once you get to that tippy top of that mountain. There's just too many things that still fit into that puzzle where you're never going to be 100%, no matter how convinced people feel like they are because they wrote a book or anything else. Again, I can insert JFK in there, the assassination, the Lincoln assassination, and for you, Steve, what's some of those for you? Would it be aliens? Would it be a certain cryptid or something that you could insert into that theory and still have it work? Where
Yeah, really, all those. I mean, the Bigfoot, the UFOs, ghosts, anything. It's like I said, it's not a one size fits all,
right,
and your mileage may vary, and it
right.
will.
Yeah, and there's really no definite you could do either way. It's like looking at these pictures tonight that we're going to see, and some of them are videos, and some have them a little backstory, because it's like being that kid laying on your mom's freshly, vacuumed throw rug in front of the Zenith. I can still remember the patterns of the vacuum would make in some of these shag rugs and stuff like that. And they were big Kirby vacuums, and these things were monsters, folks. These
you
things
just
you could
described my
ride on
childhood:
as
a
a kid.
Zenith TV and a Kirby vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, and sitting on a throw rug, and by God, that fringe better be, if they had fringe, how many kids were told by their parents, go straight into fringe on the throw rug, company's coming. You remember that? And you had to take your fingers watching cartoons, and you went around the rug, straightened all the fringe out, and the fringe on the pillow.
I didn't eat at the
pillows.
table with my parents. I ate in the floor in front of the TV. I had my plate down there. I was watching Gilligan's Island or reruns of monster movies or something. Lost in Space, The Monsters, Addams Family.
Lost in Space. Will Robinson, morning, Will Robinson. Yeah, I remember. I never ever liked that doctor because I never liked people like that.
Jonathan Harris.
But what was his name in the?
Dr. Zachary Smith.
Thank you. Because I never liked the backstabbers, the connivers, the ones that would lie to your face, the two-faced people. I never, ever, ever, even as a kid, you know what I mean? That was that was really high on my do not like list, and it's probably because of all the time I spent with Andy Griffith and Father Knows Best, and and some of those other ones that we had.
Dobie Gillis,
I never watched that one. I did Gilligan's Island and Flintstones, and even Flintstones. Everything had morals back then, except for the hidden stuff. And then it started getting a little, here and there was stuff thrown in there. Early cartoons were extremely. You couldn't even play them now, I don't think.
Yeah, some of those Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Yeah, or Little Rascals.
Yeah.
Somebody bought them up. Was that Bill Cosby that bought that up and held them because they were racist?
I think so. Somebody.
Or is that an ugly? Is that a rumor?
That may be a rumor, but I've heard that rumor.
There's some beautiful things. I can't put my hands on it. It's been for a while. You could do it, and one of them is the musical Porgy and Bess. I remember watching that as a kid. That is a fabulous. I believe that Sidney Poitier plays Porgy. And Sammy Davis Jr. is in it. He plays kind of a hustler, a sidewinding, tap dancing, little do with little hat and everything. And some of the best music came out of this thing, and you cannot touch it. Song of the South, can't touch it. Where is it? You can't find it. You'll never get a copy.
You can. I've found it before for download on certain sites of ill repute. But you can't. You can buy a copy of it on eBay for $200 or $300. But it's been pulled. I saw that in the theater when I was a kid. That they played that before Cinderella.
What do we got here? Weird symbols show up on my window. What's going on now? My Forerunner was seen last week. What's going on with your Forerunner? Is he talking about a vehicle, Steve?
That's what I gather. I don't know.
Or is this some kind of a?
That's
not a new breed of dog, is it? Is that a new breed of dog? Like four-legged, like I don't know, cross with a road runner and a something else. I don't know. What are we talking about? You talking about a truck, babe? Something happened to the truck. We got a haunted truck. Is that what we're talking about? Weird symbols show up on my window. So, did I miss part of this? Or are people just slinging me little pieces of?
And you want to catch my radio show this Sunday night? Cisco talks about the
weirdest shit.
Noxema and
The
her
weirdest shit.
sister's on her sister's mirror. That was weird. That whole all those stories. That's from the book.
Adam thinks
We're all
Travis-
children in
Travis
the
is-
wilderness of the afterlife. A guided tour through a haunted life. Book we did together. It's mostly Cisco's. She did all the heavy
There you
lifting,
go.
and I came along behind
Roll
her.
right off
did
your
like
tongue, didn't it, sweetie?
commentary. Took me 2 years to be able to say that,
He's been
and
practicing.
then I flubbed it in the radio show and had to edit that part out.
It's Halloween. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. A forerunner is an omen of death. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow!
Oh my gosh, I thought you were talking about a truck. This is
Yeah,
different.
that's what I thought, like a Toyota 4Runner, but it's spelled different. But yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's creepy. Kind of like
Oh,
a
wow, that's
doppelganger,
creepy.
or
Wow, Kevin. Happy Halloween, sugar. I mean,
it's a
I'll tell you
creepy
what.
story.
Look, the
Just in
weirdest
2
things
lines
happened
there.
to us. Steven can back me up on this because he's heard this story 1,000 times. I don't have time to tell it to you tonight, but I promise if you remind me. I was going to also tell you about the bartender. I can tell the bartender and the gin. I promised them the other day in chat I would tell this story. So this is not my story. This is a retelling from a bartender friend of mine. And now there was a lot of movement in the 80s. People may not remember a little Grenada going on and some other things. We're always dabbling around in the sand out there and messing around. Sometimes where we shouldn't be a messing, if you know what I mean.
Grenada, the Falkland Islands. There was a lot of stuff
that was
going
my
on.
time. That's when I was in.
That's when I was.
Yeah.
I was afraid they were going to reinstate the draft, and that's where I'd go, but it didn't happen.
I'll tell you what, man. I can remember waiting with my motor pool to go, and we're standing. I'm the only female in there. First one there, by the way. I was the first one there. Had my TA50 and all my gear. I was ready to go. I was like, let's do this. And I got in there. It was all these guys, and there's these poor kids who had signed up for college that weren't in it for the, let's kick some ass. You know what I mean? You have to be there in your mind. You really, really do. You can't be in there. It's like, I just want the money for college. It hits you all at once. And that's what was happening in this motor pool. And I'm just going around and I'm like, if I cave, these guys are going to go, so I have to not. That's what's going through my head as a leader. Listen, you're brainwashed. You know what I mean? You're a soldier, man, And I was at that time I was was I squad leader? Yeah, I was squad leader at the time. And so you have to be that person. And I can remember trying to shake these kids, and I actually did to this one kid. So I went totally patting on his butt, and I'm like, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Do I look like I'm falling apart? You can't fall apart. Get it together. And I'm shaking him and just hugging him and shaking him. But it was this young kid, I'll never forget it, from North Platte, Nebraska. And he used to make everybody laugh. He was tall and skinny. I think he was 90 pounds soaking wet. It's an overstatement. Of course he wasn't, but he looked that way. And he was tall and skinny like a broom. And he used to take the mop, like when he's mopping up the motor pool, and dance with it. And he named the mop Eileen. I'll never forget this kid. You wonder what happens to these kids. They're soldiers and they go off, in different directions. And, you think back on stuff like that and you go, wow, whatever happened to that guy? He was funny. Or, the guy that was out working in the motor pool and the battery went on him. It blew. And he got a battery acid in his eyes. And I'm telling you what, you never want to be around. You want to be around some highly trained, rangers and everything else. You've never seen anybody move like these guys at a split second. I mean, these are highly trained soldier machines, and this thing goes off and nothing, just everybody just moves and grabs this guy. And this guy's literally flying. He never touched the ground until he got in front of the soda machine. And everybody's throwing quarters in the soda machine, getting Cokes and just opening the Coke and dumping his eyes. We saved that guy's eyes that day. And the fast, the way these gentlemen moved, on their feet. Just the stories. It's nothing paranormal, but it's human beings. And when you look at something like that, you hear these stories, and then you think about the person falling apart in that same building in one corner. And then you've got these well-oiled machines in a time of crisis that just snap together and work as one to save, somebody else like it's their own, because that's how we feel. And then you wonder why ghosts are so different, why Bigfoot are so different, because the surrounding, the way you were brought up, the way you were raised, what you have to do to survive, like a squirrel who changes their coat in the wintertime, for Pete's sake, so they don't show up in the snow. That's incredible. Animals that change their camouflage. Why can't the paranormal or Bigfoot or Dogmen or Rougarou, And if we could just decide that, tell that at the table and agree on that, I think it would be a lot less. I think it'd be more progress, and we'd really start finding out some stuff. But until we do that, our consciousness is going to stay right there. And the other side's going, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. They're still arguing about whether or not we're here. We've been doing that. We've been watching this show for 200, 300, 400, 500 years. It's time to move up, people. Wake up, right? What do you think, Steve? Do you second that emotion?
I second that emotion.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's see what some ghost footage. We might have to do a little bit of reading. I'm going to try. Sometimes it gets too fast. I just go, oh, hell, read it for yourself. But I'll try. I'll try. Did you see it? Did you see it? I'm getting fancy on you folks. Look out, Steve. It's going to see you. That's just creepy. Happy Halloween. That's so cool. Exactly. Words to live by. Oh, this is a picture taken outside of the Mount Vernon Church. His sister-in-law took this picture. I think he takes a nice picture, don't you think, Steve? Nice young man. But this face popped up next to him, and this happened to be at a cemetery where I think it was like 34 bodies of unknown soldiers buried right behind him. And this is the one that was in Hampton Court Palace, and it first popped into the Chicago Sun-Times in 2003, and the CCTV caught it, and you can actually see what come to known as Skeletor opening the doors and closing them with skeletal hands. Famous photography picture. Now this is another one that was around when I was a kid. Recognize this one, Steve?
Yep.
This one is the Skeleton Come Newbie Church of Christ the Council. These names of in 1963. Now this man is standing here to show the height of it, because it's been said that at a certain angle they thought that this thing was 8-9 foot tall or something, Steve. But this thing popped up. This picture. A vicar took it, and it's been, that face is where that scream face comes from. That mask made famous in the movie where he's running around stabbing everybody, killing teenagers like every slasher movie ever. But this one is a little extra special because the vicar coming out with this really put up with a lot of scrutiny. Why would he fake this? Now you can see see where he's standing. He's actually standing below the step, below the first riser, and of course below the second riser. So they take that into consideration, and that seems to be where this other man is taking this well. So it was taking of the altar at the Skeleton Community Church of Christ, the Counselor, in 1963, created a sensation when published. The authenticity of this photo was examined by many. They surmised that, judging by the angle and surroundings in the photo, the scary hooded entity would have been over 8 foot tall. Now, this photo has more credibility than the average random ghost photo, is that it was taken in 1963 by the actual vicar of the Newby Church, Reverend Kenneth F. Lord. Reverend says that he was attempting to take a picture of the church altar. The bizarre figure just appeared in the photo when it was developed. By going public with his ghostly photograph, the Reverend had nothing to gain and could have easily lost respect of his church congregation and brought shame to the church itself. So take all that into consideration. What do you think? You know, did he fake it? It seems weird, right? Because the kind of stuff that he would have gone through. Now look at that face. This next one is the white lady, and you'll recognize that too. But what do you think, Steve? You think that one's real or fake?
It looks real. That's about all I can say. You know, supposedly it was examined by photographic experts, and this was in the days before Photoshop. Of course, there were people who could do wizardry in the dark room
That's
by
as old as
hand,
me.
but it looks like it's the real deal.
Bye, Adam. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Adam.
I mean, yeah, and I mean it's agreed. And I think, again, we've said this 1,000 times, Steve. We've almost out-teched ourselves. We've gotten to the point where we can do Godzilla ate New York and it looked real. We saw that. We saw 1,000 different things, King Kong, you know, whatever. And I mean, in the movies and in real life, I mean, if you want to bring in Project Bluebeam and stuff like that, and holograms and things like that, you can't even. We all saw the Pope disappear on the balcony, folks. Did you not? You know, we've seen Tupac, you know, appear on stage and do, you know, a whole song. You know, and many different things. So you don't even really know what you're seeing anymore. So basically what you're left with is your common sense, your filters, and what you're ready to believe, you know. But you don't want to say they're all fake, because now you can't even tell anymore. I can tell. I can go through these trying to
AI is so good now. There's a lot of pictures that AI generated that you can't tell it from an actual photograph.
There's
sometimes there'll be an anomaly,
but it's getting better, and it's not going to take long for it to get so good you can't tell, because AI. I know I've worked with it very, very little, but it's almost like what they say about demons that try to pretend to be like a loved one, like a person you know, and something will be wrong. Like it'll have like something will be off, like their finger will be bent backwards, or something's not set right in the way that they're appearing. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but it's kind of like that. Like you'll look at a picture a very convincing picture. I actually did this at work. I covered up a part of this and I said, "Who is this?" And they told me, and I won't say the famous name, but you'd know it if I said it. And they said, "Yeah, that looks real. That looks real. Yeah, that's her. That's her." And I pulled my hand down and showed that the hand that was on her belly had 6 fingers. And I said, AI hasn't caught up with hands.
Yeah, AI has a problem with hands. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
And
with hands
in
yet.
particular.
So right now you've got that little thing, just like the demons try to mimic your grandma. But I'll tell you what, and I'm not saying if grandma comes to you as a demon. Cisco did not say that. I've never said that. I don't believe that. I think that's, that has its place. You know what I mean? It's like, it's sometimes maybe, I mean, just like with everything in this, you can't but everything that shows up at that is this, stop. You can't say that. So, and at this point, we shouldn't be saying that. So in 1975, Peter and Diane, I can't get that last name, visited the Worsted Church in Norfolk, UK. Diane took a seat amongst the empty pews to say a short prayer. Her husband Peter snapped a candid photo of her as she sat and prayed. Later, when the film was developed, the couple was shocked to see the ghostly apparition of what appears to be a woman sitting behind Diane, dressed all in white, wearing a bonnet and old-fashioned clothing.
Yeah.
Peter and Diane swear that there was no one else present around Diane when the picture was taken. The couple later showed this photo to the Reverend Petit and church vicar and inquired about the strange specter in the photo. They were shocked when the Reverend told them about the white lady, a ghost that is said to have haunted the Worcester church for more than 100 years. So this white lady is seen around there all the time. The funny part is, well, this isn't very funny. This is very tragic, but this is again one of those legends that is born out of a legend, Steve. And I never knew this about that picture. I recognized the picture, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay. Did you know the rest of the story? The rest of the
I
story
did not
is
know the rest of the story.
like old Paul Harvey used
Hello,
to say.
Americans.
Hello, Americans. Well, here's the rest of the story, gatekeepers. This young gentleman here in this snazzy little hat and this, perfect little mustache was bragging. And this is how it all starts, does it not? Doesn't believe in the ghost and sets out a little deal amongst his fellow brethren here. So he says a local story dating back to the 1830s said that a man laughingly dismissed the legend of the White Lady Ghost, boasting that he would climb to the top of the church bell tower at midnight, and if the White Lady was there, he would give her a big kiss right on the lips. As the story goes, the man followed through with his ill-advised boast. He did indeed climb the ladder to the Worcester church bell tower at midnight. Time passed, but the man never returned. Finally, the man's friends went to the bell tower stairs to check on him, but they shocked them to the core. The man was crouched in the corner of the bell tower, quivering violently, barely able to speak. Quivering lips, he said simply, "I saw her. I saw the White Lady." And then without another word, he closed his eyes and passed away. Boom. Isn't that awful, Steve?
Yep.
So now you got a legend born off a legend.
Yep.
Cowering in the corner. Sometimes that's how it goes. I can't tell you the amount of like CBS mysteries and what's the other one? Suspense, and so many of those old radio shows where the guy going in acting all sure of himself and all poo-poo and everything and all that
And
usually
he's
winds
the
up
first one when the crap goes down.
in the fetal position in the coat closet downstairs behind the stairs. That's where you find him. But again, there's just another type of human being, and ghosts are this way. So you might have one in the same house. You might have the one that's cowering in the basement in the corner, scared to death, doesn't realize where he is, just knows that place and doesn't want to venture further. And then you've got the one upstairs throwing dishes and everything else, stealing the remote and goosing women in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Different. They're just different. And like I said, just like those guys, those Bigfoot dudes sitting around the picnic table, I think some ghosts are to the point where we're just like, let's go to the next thing, All right, this one. Which one is this one? I think that's cool. Oh, spiders again. Boom.
No, I love those creepy spiders.
Happy Halloween. I can't look. Ooh. That's what it's all about, Steve. The little spooky things. Little spooky stuff. Oh, goodness. Now there's one. That one looks real to me. There's the brown lady of let's go back that one real quick. I grabbed this one because I wanted to mention that there's several different people on YouTube that for some reason they go into graveyards at night and just record. Got a GoPro. What are you going to do? I'm going to go walk around the graveyard and take pictures. There's this one guy who got this amazing film, and it's outside of a mausoleum, and they have the stone benches, right? See, and he goes around, he hears something, he goes around the corner, and sitting on the bench, I mean, just looking solid as you and me, is an old lady. Her hair's in curlers. Now she's an older woman. She's wearing, you could tell, that one of those old quilted bathrobes. You know, they're kind of shiny, almost like satiny, and old quilted bathrobes like Granny used to have, and house slippers. And she's just sitting there on this bench, and she never reacts to him. And he's talking to her and everything, you know, from afar. It's an amazing capture. And I totally believe it, just because, just the way it was and the way she was acting. And as he moved, you could kind of see through parts of her. It would be hard to hire somebody to sit, first of all, get in one of those bathrobes, for Pete's sake. They're, you know, early 1970s, maybe, you know, and her and big curlers. Those curlers are really out too. I mean, she was totally of a different time, not very far in the past, but in the past for sure. And this lady looks the same to me, because she almost looks like she's dressed for Easter, and she almost looks more like she's a ghost of a visitor rather than a ghost of a person that's there. Maybe it's somebody who's visiting their own grave and has crossed over and whatever. We'll never know. But
is
I
that a
don't know.
big orb behind her there?
It is. It
coming
is.
out of the woods. It looks like it.
It does. It does indeed. But I don't know too many people that are buried in hats that size. Do you? Can it fit? I mean, is that a kind of a different kind of thing? It looks almost like she's dressed for like Easter, early 1960s.
But I think back in the day, though, women wore those long dresses and hats.
In the coffin?
Well,
to get buried
I don't think you wore one in the coffin.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm getting
You'd
a whole
have to cut it in
story.
half and just stick it on your head or something like that.
Bless her heart. But that's kind of why I was getting that feel, like she was almost like a visitor visiting a grave, perhaps her own. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But someone who's crossed over, or
looks like she's dressed up to go to church and then just skipped over to the graveyard
and visited a grave
and
maybe just.
And it looks like she's carrying. Is that flowers? It looks like maybe a small bouquet there in her left hand.
It could be, or could be a purse. Looks like a purse and a scarf, maybe. It's very detailed, and of course, it could be an old washed out Photoshop as well. But and then you've got like the time of the night that it is, obviously, and you've got these orbs as well. So I just found it very interesting, and it reminded me of that other one as well. So there you go, hat and skirt. That's what I'm saying. D-Rock, it's crazy, right? It doesn't look, you know. Oh no, Vixen Doe. What I was saying about the curl, that's a whole nother picture that I couldn't find. I was looking for you guys, but it's of an older lady sitting on a cement bench at a cemetery. And she's the one who had the big curlers, like back in the day, 60s curlers, the big plastic ones. You could look like telescopes. You could see right through them. And this old quilted satin robe that looked very early 70s to me, you know. So that one, this was a different one with the hat and the dress. Here's the one you're talking about, Steve, the one that was taken at Amityville the night that the news crew went in there.
Creepy.
With the Warrens and everything else. And, you know, again, there's no doubt that it's possible these kids are hung in this house for a while, maybe came and went because people were talking about them. Who knows? But everybody that was there seemed to tend to believe that this was a real photograph. So who knows? Again, we're left with that, right, Steve?
Yeah.
You're left with your own decision.
It looks creepy.
Mm-hmm. This one always blew my mind.
Yeah.
Now, this is a snapshot, a screenshot of a video that's out there with the kid. This is the one where the kid he's screaming. Then he gets picked. He's standing by the side of the crib and all of a sudden just gets picked straight up. And this is a shot where it shows that his arms and everything is up. Like somebody just grabbed him by the waist, like you would pick up a child, and lifted him straight up and set his feet on the edge of that crib side there. Is that not incredible? There's no way a kid can balance that way.
No,
and in the video, he just falls back into the crib, just like something let him go. It's and quite hard too. I mean, he wasn't.
Yeah, it looks like he's being lifted up out of just the position of his arms there, like he's.
Yep, and his feet are
kid
on
wants
that
to be
edge.
picked up, so.
Yep,
and raise
Yep.
their arms at you like that.
Just no way. Yep, that's for sure. This one is creepy because as anybody that's ever been a mom or taking care of a baby knows that there's no way a baby could jump up there like that, and a cat would have a hard time doing it. So just think about it. That's just insane. I have no explanation for that, and the video is even worse. And I've heard the dad come out and talk about this, and after the fact that he's fine and all that. But again, with these parents, with their, he was fine. He went back to sleep, and he's been sleeping in there ever since. Nothing else ever happened on the camera. It's all good, And I'm thinking, the kid's still in this room. Are you joking me? I don't know. I'm with Aunt Edna. She's always saying, "What the hell is this baby still doing here?" It's. Would you leave your kid in there after something like that? I like this one too. And again, it could just be a Photoshoppy thing, but the story that goes with it, they were at a funeral and this was the guy. You know what I mean? So again, you'd have to be, it's almost like that one of Lincoln standing behind Mrs. Lincoln. It looks like such a fake for sure. And everybody's so
But
short.
other than that, Ms. Lincoln, did you enjoy the play?
Did you enjoy the play? But again, who would do this at your, you know what I mean, to fake it at the guy's funeral? I mean, that's low taste. I like the ones with the around the cars and the accidents too, like right after the fact, and you see them leaving.
Yeah.
Those are incredible.
There's one where there's a horrible car crash, and I think the tow truck's there, and the emergency vehicles or something, and there's like this spirit or something leaving the wreckage.
Yep, absolutely. This one too, when you get a real good close up on it, it's definitely an old woman that's coming in and kind of looking around like she does not sure where she is, but also a part of a video. But that's the best snapshot of it. She gets real thin as she walks away, so that's your best shot right there. Some of these are really incredible, and then some are so obvious. Like this one is an older one, and they're trying to pass this off as this is exactly how this old woman was sitting in the cemetery on that cement bench. So
isn't that Resurrection Cemetery in Chicago, and that's supposed to be Resurrection Mary, I think.
And this is an obvious. I mean, they're not even trying to fake it. They just took a picture, and they said that this was her. So you've got that kind of stuff out there too. I mean, some of it's so obvious. I was watching one the other day. I was looking for gifts for, I don't know, video, whatever. And I see so many to pick one or two or three. I might look at 150 of them to get the right one to put just in the right spot of a song or whatever. So I've seen a lot out there, and going through looking at pictures like this, they're trying to say it's real ghosts. And I'm like, that's not real. That's so fake, because I know that GIF. I've used it to make a ghost, or I've, taken it, thinned it out, and made it real see-through, and manipulated it to go through it, swing through a swing. And I'm like, man, that's just so. And they're throwing these up on Reddit and calling them real. And of course, we're going to get flooded with that. There's so much filler. It's like a paranormal's turned into a hot dog, Steve. There's so much filler. There's barely any meat left, that kind of, think about it.
And then, according to my dad, the meat that they used is all lips and rectums anyway. So.
Yeah. So this one's crazy. This is the Chico ghost truck. Now, this truck was stolen, and it was found, or abandoned, let's just say abandoned, found by a policeman named Roy in California. And he found an old abandoned truck on Honey Run Road. Look at that. I'd love to have that dang truck. On on Honey Run Road in Chico, California. He took pictures of the truck for the purpose of logging the vehicle and police records so that it could be towed. Later, when Roy checked his photos, he was shocked to see the clear image of a face staring back at him. There it is. Now, to me, that's so clear. I can tell this gentleman is Asian, and I wonder if you could not go back and see if somebody who owned the truck, does his face match whoever owned the truck beforehand? Can you see the face, Steve?
Yeah.
Incredible. You can tell he's obviously Asian, you know,
And there's
or
one where man and
native.
woman are leaving the graveyard. They just buried, I think it's the woman's mother or grandmother,
Yes,
and she's sitting in
yes.
the back seat. Do you have that one?
I don't have that one,
Uh,
but this one
okay.
reminded me of that one, and I think I showed that one the last time, and it's amazing, and it looks like him. That's what I'm saying. You've got such an opportunity here
Yeah.
to possibly look up the past owners of this truck to see if it was somebody of Asian descent or possibly Native American or whatever, because he's definitely got exotic features, and see if you can match up. Say, hey, that's him. That'd be great. So, anyway, Roy swears that there was no one around when he took his pictures, and the man's likeness did not appear in any of his other photos. How about that? Very disturbing is the strange, piercing look at the man appears to be giving Roy as the picture is taken. Yep, looked right at him. That's crazy. That's a good one. And I'd never seen that one before or heard the story about Roy. And it's still a nice
that's
truck.
the first time I've seen that one, but yeah,
Still
it's
a nice
clear.
truck. This one's a heartbreaker, guys, and I'll tell you why. This has got everything. This is the Pink Lady of O'Hare, and I'll tell you, this is an amazing thing. If you like ghost stories and you like a little bit of the history and you like seeing things that have a little bit of closure to them, check out this story. It's all over YouTube. Just put the Pink Lady of O'Hare and watch the videos that have the two gentlemen in it. One's an older guy, kind of burly, and the other one's a younger guy with a ponytail. They go on a paranormal investigation to this place, and boy, did they hit pay dirt. So this is the story of the Pink Lady of O'Hare. So this guy named Guy Winters and his friend, they set out to explore O'Hare House in Greencastle, Indiana. The men spent 2 days exploring and filming, and there's the house there. They snapped many photos outside of the O'Hare house, and this first photo is the blurry picture of what appears to be a woman standing in front of the doorway. It's like every time they snapped a picture, they got something here. Okay. The second picture is a manifestation looking out of the downstairs window. But the best are the 3 photos of what has come to be known and called the Pink Lady of O'Hare House. And you can see it there, and the words will go away so you can get a clear picture. A professional analysis of the film proved that the images are indeed on the film negative. Perhaps even more chilling is what appeared when one of the guys took a picture and it was run through a computer enhancement to try to uncover the greater detail of the photo. When enhanced, you can see the face. It's almost like Skeletor, Steve, in that Hampton Court. It looks like a skull encased in the ghastly apparition of a human body. Unfortunately, no further investigation into the O'Hare house was ever able to be conducted, because once Guy Winters' footage came public, the owner of the house feared that it's going to be overrun with paranormal people and investigators and looky-loos and researchers, so he had it destroyed. It is now a cornfield. Some of the best evidence I have ever seen, and this guy demolishes this house, Steve. Now, if you watch the whole YouTube video, and I tell you, you should go and seek it out on YouTube, because these two guys got a lot of evidence. And on top of the pictures, and you saw the pictures there, if you look at this picture again, right here, let me see if I can get that first one. Here's the 3. Of course, you got the words in the front of it. Let me see if I can get it again. There it is right there. That's one of the originals right there. Look, you can see her hair. You can see her bones underneath her dress. This is so much like the Hampton Court Skeletor. The way you can see the arms are very
that thing
thin.
is creepy, where it opens the door and then
the
door is open and then it runs out and shuts the doors.
It shuts the doors, exactly. And when he pulls away, that big robe falls away, and you can see his bony arms. It's incredible, just like this. So the other picture, he got 3 with her standing there. It is with nothing, and then all of a sudden, bam, bam, bam. just picture after picture. And in the beginning, I've got one of her standing still real close. There's 3. You can see it really good in that one.
Yep.
Right about here. It's a good close-up right there. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. What is that thing?
Look at that. So you can see how the skin is pulled across, and when they got that better, even better detail, they could see it was like a skull underneath the essence of what it's trying to manifest as, I guess, skin. I mean, you see the beautiful hair. You can see the ringlets in the hair. You could see she's wearing something, and to show up pink. So this is exactly the color of the mist. See how it's more like a magenta pinkish?
Yeah.
And the glowing. This is the exact color of the mist that happened to me in my picture in the wheat field in Gettysburg that I took on one frame. It was this color pink. And so she must have been full of love and light. And it says it's accommodating and some other things. So the meaning of the color pink in the paranormal, it's that blew my mind when I found out there was a chart, but it's the same as auras. It's the same for ghosts. It's the same for orbs. It's the same for mist or lights, energy lights. So I don't know who the first one to put it down and put colors with, but it really blows your mind when you think about it. So there it is, cornfield, no more. They tore that whole place down. And one of the things I wanted to show you right here, there's another great picture of her there in the window. Can you imagine seeing this? And the colors and how she's almost floating like an angel. You can see the energy coming out from underneath whatever this thing is she's wearing. Yeah. It's almost where her arms would be. There's more light coming from it and from her face. It's an incredible capture. So this gentleman right here that you're about to see, you're going to kind of see in the back of his head. Incredible. Okay, wait. We missed it. Okay, let's go back. Let's see the back. I do want to show you the guy's head. Okay, here you go. This guy standing right here is one of the ones that took the picture. And this is the older gentleman out of the 2. He tells a story on the YouTube video that I hope you go and look for. About how after he took the pictures, it's like he said the energy and light seemed to shoot out of the backside of this house, like it came out of another open window from this around the side and came around and shot right over him and the other guy, like it flew right over him, right above his head, and took off and went back around the house again. So they came out and he was just all lit up telling the story. Like they came and said hi to me. It was amazing. And this got out and the owner panicked and just, called the wrecking crew. It's insane, right, Steve? Had you heard this one, the pink lady?
I'd never heard of that one.
It's a good one, isn't it?
That is.
Really
is.
And
the whole story and everything.
Look at that picture. Look at that. And just tear it down. Now, this
Definitely
is very slight.
Energy going on there.
Oh, gosh, yeah. This is very quick and very slight, but I tried to slow it down for you. This is just a mom getting out of the car and showing her little boy, the train going by and how long a train is, and to get that full effect. And they accidentally captured something. I hope you guys can see it. But if you look at the top of the train, you'll see as it goes by right about there. See it? There's somebody just standing on the, did you miss it? I'll run it back. I did it 2 or 3 times, I think. So right about there, see, right in the center of the circle, standing in the center of this platform. Not holding on to anything. Well, why would you panic? You're dead. You're not going to fly off, right? But you can see the hair, long black, dark brown hair, some type of a dress. You see the arms and everything else as it goes by. Look at there.
Yeah, I see it there now. Holy cow.
Is that incredible?
Just standing up there.
Just standing up there, man. It just blows your mind. And they didn't see it again till after. Here comes by a little slower. Long hair past the shoulders, arms in front, like hands like this. And here's another guy. He's just walking into this abandoned bathroom, investigating. And he looks in the window. This one's also fast. And he kind of waves like, here I am, goofing off, whatever. And then look behind his shoulder. There it goes.
Yep. Saw it move by there.
And he saw it. Here it goes again, slow motion. waves, and he sees it out of the. Look at that. I don't know.
Looked like
Just
it
thought,
was a hooded figure or something.
Now, I like this one a lot. I don't know if this is something, this is not CCTV, so it's not a camera that's sitting there to where it would have like a color burn or have a pixel burn or whatever you want to call that, to where, you know, if something goes by a bunch of times, it could burn into the, gosh, our screens do that on our cell phones and old TVs. They used to say, don't leave the screen on because it'll burn into the thing. So this is just a guy walking and taking random picture of this frozen lake, right? Look, coming out of this little hut or whatever, it almost looks like somebody is stretching and getting ready to run or something. But you can even see their knees bending, their arms are bare. Look at this. Look at that. Comes out of the little house, steps out,
looks around.
And here's
That's
him
creepy.
walking up on it again.
Yep.
Stepping out.
Was that an outhouse or something? What is that?
I don't know. It's like, but the knees are bent, like he's bent down to come out of that doorway or something. It's insane. And almost like his red hair. You can almost see almost like a bright orange something on his head, if not hair. Look at that. It's crazy. Or a beard and a hair and beard. It's crazy. I don't know. Isn't that something, Lulubelle? Yeah. So, yeah, that was a crazy one. I think that's almost it. Oh, wait. Here's a good one. Wow, who caught this one? This is a good catch right here. Wow, that looks almost real. Whoa! Happy Halloween, everybody. Love you.
Look at that.
Isn't that something? I'll tell you what, these things are getting so good, dude. You know, scared of kitty, scared of baby, scared of baby. It's fun to be scared, I guess, sometimes. Yep, how to scare somebody? Just show up in their damn pictures. That'll get them talking. And these were our composers tonight. These are the musicians and the bands. For Cubworth and Twin Musicom, Halloween Dawn, and Lovable Clown. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to find, ghost photos that not only look real but feel real, Steve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
some
I think
of them are
that
just
was
obviously patently
Right.
fake, but then there's some like that you really think,
Without a doubt. And I think that's what we were doing ever since we were kids. I know I was. And like we talked about at the beginning of this, talking about, laying on that throw rug and after we straightened out the fringe or whatever, getting a chance to look at those library books we got to pick up, and the Ripley's Believe It or Not, or, any of these things that we're lucky enough to get. And as a young teenager, the Hans Holzer and things like that. But most of the time you had drawings of like a medium's rendition, kind of like your early Amy Allen's. Like, is that what you saw? Yes, it is. They've been doing that forever, because a lot of psychics and a lot of mediums, Rob Guttrow does that. He sketches what he sees and himself. And that's what I got in a lot of books too. So when you really got a picture, whether it was the Borley Mansion, or the Borley in, England, or the Brown Lady of Random Hall, or, any of these that were snapshots that we saw and have been seeing. What was that one in the chapel? 1963. So the year after I was born, some vicar is taking a picture of the altar and gets this, what is now known as, what do they call them? The demon monk or whatever, because the face is all elongated and pulled, and it might have been something in the middle of manifesting, or maybe that's what it looks like. We don't know, but I don't think that vicar was lying. So there's definitely some photobombing going on, and we've seen some things too, Steve. In the 70s was real big. I was talking to Sin Schrader Hill last night about it. The guys who would take pictures with the Polaroid, and this ghost would talk to them and write words in the mist in the picture, and they'd open up a new thing of film. They had all kind of news crews there. I'm pretty sure Sightings was there, or Unsolved Mysteries 1, and they did all their scientific, clinical white gloved experiments, and this thing went right on writing, and answering their questions, and one word, or it might be a vague answer, but it was there. And that one with the guy in the train, once his story was told, once the story of the crew was released from any blame of that accident and killing all those people, he no longer showed up in photographs, and he one-upped it by having his figure in these pictures disappear in all of them. His story was told and he was done, and I guess he moved on, Steve.
Yep, that's what it sounded like.
How about that? So we found something else new to talk about with ghosts and photos. How about that? And we did it
Ghostly
again.
photo bombs. Yeah.
But it's true. It's true. I mean, and there's a million of them out there. So I hope y'all will enjoy some of those for Halloween, and go find some of your own. Share them around the family. Have fun. Maybe get 10 of them. Put them on your phone. Wherever you are Halloween, if you're in a group or office or whatever.
And then show them to some people and say, look, what do you see in this picture I took? Make them think you did it. Little Halloween prank there.
You're going to choke me, Steve.
Good stuff, isn't it, Cisco?
Oh, my God. Just pure water, man. I'm telling you, it's fun. So what's going on this week for you? Tell me what's coming up the next upcoming weeks.
Well, let's see. I'm doing, got my blog now. I'm around the campfire, doing daily posts on that right now. Had a new book drop today, Legends and Stories from the Appalachian Trail. It's available on Amazon. #1 new release. Thank you, folks, everybody that bought a copy of that.
There you go.
Recording another episode of my radio show, and then Cisco's show will be coming. Her episode will be Sunday night on Ground Zero Radio Network.
Now, how do we get there, Steve? Is there a link?
What
do we do?
Put a link on Facebook. It plays live, and then I think it's behind a paywall or something after that.
So it plays live
from 9 to 11 on Sunday nights. And then after that, I don't know where it goes. I'll have to find out. I'm sure they archive them somewhere.
Can you get there through the Facebook link? It'll take you so we can hear it. And it's on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to listen live. You can even call in on your phone and listen in, but you have to listen while it's being broadcast.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I've seen that set up before.
That video that I just released, 13 places where people disappear. Go check that out. That's
I saw that.
Did a bang up job on that one, and then she's working on another.
Guys are putting out some great stuff.
Have
you got a hold of the Brothers Hole yet? When are we doing the round table?
I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Right now they're MIA.
I want
to do that in October, if possible. So I'll see if I can't get them on the ball.
Tell them, we
I've
can
got to
always
record
do one
a Halloween story for their next episode, and I'll see this. I haven't heard anything from them in days. They moved into a new studio, and I think they're having some technical issues and stuff. And I think it's a haunted place that they're in. But anyway,
I'll tell you what, those technical issues are nothing to shake
I'm wondering, is Mercury in retrograde or something?
Huh? Yeah, I don't know. I'm telling you,
stuff?
dude, I've never seen anything like that before. It was like my computer was just all of a sudden opened up like 30 or 40 windows. And that might be an understatement. I mean, there was so many tabs, I couldn't count them. And it just was doing whatever it wanted to do. And there's numbers rolling all over the place. Like aliens got in here and just started pushing buttons. Like a bunch of drunk
not
monkeys.
In retrograde. The last one ended September 14th. And the next one's not till December 13th.
It was a ghost in the machine, Steve.
Yeah, the veil is thin.
What do y'all want to see on the way out? You want to see something funny? You want Skeleton Fairy? Has anybody seen Aunt Edna? Is she doing okay? Is everybody doing all right? Is Ted all right? Is everybody okay? Have you seen her?
Seen Ted Branson in a hot minute.
I hope everybody's doing well.
Hey, Joanne, how you doing? Well. Good to see you.
Hey, Yoda girl. Said, what do y'all want to see? I'll wait. I know there's a delay. Since I got to reload this thing, y'all get to pick. Do you want funny animals? Do you want dancing? Do you want ugly monsters? What do you want? Steve's latest book. Yep, stick it up there. Legends and Story Appalachian Trail. I bet you it's good, Steve. So Halloween. I hope you'll be here one night for Cabin 22. You get to pick the night you want to be. You get to pick a chapter, or you can pick a night. But I'd love for you to be here.
Okay.
If you want to help me open it up on a Monday night or whatever, I think we're going to do the 22nd is the start, because that way, if it's 6 consecutive nights, it'll finish before the weekend.
I'll have to check my calendar. I've got some appearances coming. October's always a busy month.
I know, that's what I'm
for me.
saying.
I get invited to all these places, and
everybody on my end's
I could
knocking on my
literally
door.
go and be a guest somewhere every night. But
I know.
and of course, I'm doing 31 nights of Halloween over on 13 Past Midnight. So go over there and check that out. I've got some
Busy.
of my
It's
personal videos out there.
It's such a busy time.
stay
That's why I'm
busy.
saying I have
And
people
I
on my
think-
end going, when are we doing the round table? Because I need to make the day, and I can't,
I think I'm on with Truth Proof, Paul Sinclair in the UK. I'm on with him, but that got moved. I don't remember what day I'm on over there. I'll have to go back and check my messages. Lots of good stuff coming up.
I'm telling you what. Okay, guys, here we go. All right. My love to the missus. Love you, everybody in the chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being
here.
cool
Good night,
to each
everybody.
other. Please, on your way out, give this a thumbs up. Go in and comment. I know times are hard and money's hard too. If you feel like throwing a super chat, or you feel like hitting there's a little heart with a $sign in there under the videos at any time. And that, what I use that for is to help pay all the stuff it costs me to bring this show to you. And I appreciate every single one of them. I appreciate the PayPals, everybody that has sent those. Lindsay, thank you so much, and everybody else. And again, it goes right to it. Now, I am working on a little something. I don't know if I'm going to have Cabin 22 ready by Halloween, because I'm doing so much with the other stuff. And it has to be right. I can't throw this together. It's there. It's just spacing. And, if you've never put a book up on Kindle, I'm here to tell you. The shifting and the spaces and the numbers and
That
the page
PDF
numbers.
has to be just right, and they check it too. They'll pass it back kick it back to you, and say, "Nope, you got to fix it."
And you look and you find out you've got one quote that's off,
Yeah.
or it looks like garbage. You
And
know, it's there and
sometimes
you can't
they're
leave it.
ambiguous about what you need to fix. You
And you
have
move
to
it.
look back through it.
But you move it, Steve, and you know well as I do. As soon as you move it, everything moves.
Everything moves. Yeah,
Everything moves.
it'll reflow the whole document.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of start at the beginning and then start lining them up again.
It's crazy. Do you guys want Halloween, or do you want skeleton, or do you want animals? Tell me. What do you want?
Yes.
You want to laugh? You want them all? All right. Well, I think
Roll
this
that
one-
beautiful bean footage. Everybody, Scott,
this-
thank you, sir. Good to see you.
God-
Everybody have a
God
good
love
night.
each and every one of you for
we'll
being
be
here.
seeing you.
Listen, no matter how many times we tell people that it doesn't matter, and Halloween this and Halloween that, it does. Everybody that's here. So the veil is thinning. It was thin before this happened. This Halloween is going to be off the chain. So I want everybody to do what you think you need to do to put light and protection around you, whether it's white candle protection, whether it's putting mirrors in your windows facing out, whether it's putting a white light blessing around your whole home and all the living things within, including your plants. Do it. Do it
Eat
often.
a can of pork and beans. That'll keep
Do it.
anything away.
Do it often. Eat garlic, raw garlic. Just chew on a clove of raw garlic.
Garlic and pork and beans. There you go.
Carry something that might have silver bullets in it, and gosh knows what else you can do. Listen, I got big old labradorite around my neck. I've got my cross. I've got everything. Look, I don't pick and choose. I do it all, because all wisdom is not found in one place. How about you, Steve? There it is.
Listen, I've got a skull that I wear, and that's a memento mori. Somebody asked me about that. Why do you wear a cross and a skull? The skull, memento mori. Google it.
I got
you
it all.
too shall return to the dust.
Yep. You sleep on prayers and spam and band-aids and beans and pray for those that are suffering out there. I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying there's so much going on, so much confusion. It is a pleasure
There's
to meet
some heavy stuff going
once
on
a
out
week.
there right now.
Yeah. It's a pleasure
you talk
to meet
about
you guys.
this is the time of year that the veil gets thin.
Yep.
I've had sensitives tell me that it's thin all year now, and it'll get even thinner this time of year.
That's what I mean. It's going to get even more so.
Some changes going on out there.
Things are being thrown. So much evil's being thrown our way, and you just keep
world.
just keep deflecting it like Wonder Woman with her bracelets, man. Just choo, 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 choo. And when you need to take a moment, remember what I said about the breathing. If you're driving in a car and you catch yourself, I want you to listen to yourself breathe for a minute. And if you got yourself in a state of mind where you're just, you know what I mean? Slow yourself down and breathe in and be aware of that whole breath for about 3 or 4 times and just calm yourself down and refocus and say, do that serenity prayer type of thing where you go, is there anything I can do about this right now? I have to worry about my square foot of real estate right now, and I'm going to do what I need to do to make this square foot of real estate better until I can do something else about something else. And that's what you just have to do. You just put it there, you put it in your back pocket, and you keep rolling on. You keep listening to the birds are still singing. The sun's still coming up in the morning. You got love, you got us, you got this chat, you got all these little things that you're connected to that bring you joy. Stay connected to those things. And Steve, I love you, baby. Thanks for being here.
Always a pleasure, Cisco.
Okay, guys, so keep your feet under the covers, keep your closet door shut, because there are things that go bumping in the night, even more so now because the veil's getting really thin. Watch out. Love you all. Happy Halloween.
Good night, everybody.
See you next week. Here we go. What's coming? Here you go. Good night, Steve. My love to the missus.